for joining us this morning, and congratulations on your recent election. But I suppose I want to kind of go back a little bit to the campaign, which obviously was started under very tragic circumstances after the death of Sir David. How did you feel, sort of knowing you were running that campaign and stepping into such a big pair of shoes?
Well, thanks ever so much for having me on the show. Huge privilege to be here, and huge privilege for me to be taking over from Sir David Amess. And no, you're absolutely right. It's been a very difficult time for Southend. You know, it's been one of the most horrific times in the history of Southend. Fortunately, we are about to become a city next Tuesday. So very exciting times ahead. But in terms of the campaign, yeah, very different sort of by-election from the normal sort, because in a by-election normally we all go hell for leather. All parties try and get as many activists in as they possibly can. An absolute battle of leaflets. You'll both know that from having supported by-elections, and you know, a battle of ideas. And, you know, quite a lot of sort of, you know, banter and political debate. But this was very different, because you just don't know when you knock on a door in a by-election in these circumstances what state of the grieving process the actual person is going to be at. And it's been a really salutary experience for me to know just how fantastic our parliamentarians are. Not perhaps all of them, but certainly Sir David was a legend. And at literally every door I knocked on, the person either knew him, regarded him as a friend, they'd had him into their house, he'd been into one of their friends' houses. Some people still had candles and memorials for him. So we had the whole debate of emotion, really, to deal with, from people still grieving to people who were saying, well, hang on a second, we haven't had somebody in Parliament for the last 4 months representing us, and you know, this actually isn't good enough. So very different sort of campaign, and I was quite sort of clear that we mustn't flood the constituency with, you know, hundreds and hundreds of leaflets. I didn't think that would be right, and even I was very pleased that colleagues came to help, but we didn't want the sort of usual deluge that you get in by-elections. I felt it was, you know, very important to keep it respectful, and I think the people in Southend agreed with that.
And let's talk about